You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now it's 7. A new Oklahoma law bans cell phones during school hours, and Miami Schools says the results are already positive for student learning.
Also, 6 Missouri counties, including Newton, sued the State Tax Commission, claiming it exceeded its authority on property assessments.
And take a look at this. We've got those clouds this morning, even some patchy fog, but it's leading to a beautiful sunrise. Clouds clearing later today, temperatures climbing. We'll go over the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snow.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. on this Wednesday, October the 1st. It's October.
Right.
No, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't feel. Well, it looks like it. Just doesn't feel like it yet. But it is October. A lot of festivals and things coming up, and some changes for some students in Northeast Oklahoma.
Certainly, all Oklahoma schools have moved to a bell-to-bell no cell phone policy. Now that means no phones at lunch and no phones between classes as well.
KOAM's Ty Parks takes us to Miami to see how the students are doing without the distraction.
With that sound, all phones in Oklahoma schools must be turned off and stored in a bag. The new state law requires all cell phones to be put away from the time of the first bell to the end of the school day. This is a policy that Miami Schools was considering.
In our junior high, we hadn't allowed students to have their cell phones at all. But then once they became sophomores, we had allowed them to start having them at lunch and in between passing periods. So we had talked about the possibility of just, let's not give them back.
Without the distraction of cell phones, there has been some changes in how students interact.
In class, I think we're seeing a lot less distractions, more focused learning on academics, which is a good thing. They still are one-to-one with Chromebooks, so they have the technology that they need. I know at one point that was kind of the argument for having cell phones, is that connection to technology.
One notable change is there is less drama.
From the discipline side, some of those pieces are people texting things to each other, and you can't see emotion with a text. And so we're having more face-to-face conversations, people engaging with each other a little bit better.
They're starting to relearn body language and context clues all over again.
I think this has allowed kids to be kids again. They're talking to one another, they're engaging in ways that they haven't in a long time. Actually, when you go into the lunchroom, they're actually having conversations, and that's what we want. We want kids to be able to communicate and to be able to make connections outside of technology.
In Miami, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Now, in the event of an emergency, the law does allow for the schools to give an announcement allowing students to use their phones to contact their parents.
And Joplin, I know, Missouri just put this into play, and Joplin's been doing this, and I know that it seems as though it's reduced the number of, like they said, the violence, the fights, because I think a lot of folks were doing it because they wanted to go viral. You have your phone out, you have that passing window, you go into a bathroom, a hallway, you start a fight because kids will start filming it and you're hoping to go viral. Right. It's not really for any real reason, you're just doing it. Yeah. And this kind of eliminates that. Yeah, they really do. When I was in high school, we still had pay phones. Okay, like September 11th, actually, my freshman year, in order to call home to go home, there was a line at the 3 payphones we had in the school. So, times are certainly different, and hopefully this helps lets kids be kids again, like they said. And it is feeling a lot like, September, late August, early September out there. Now, this morning, it's actually pretty chilly, and take a look at this. Absolutely gorgeous sunrise this morning. We've got mostly cloudy skies for some of us, and again, these clouds are going to begin to progressively clear out through the day, but for right now, just beautiful out there. Those guys working in the best hotel, they've probably got the best view of this from up there. It's just absolutely amazing. Our camera's 7th in range line. In fact, I'll just get out of the way again. Look at the colors on that. When you're looking for like a wallpaper for your computer or something like that, your desktop background, or maybe even just something to hang up on the wall. Man, sometimes we get just some absolutely beautiful photogenic sunrises out there, and this is definitely on the top of the list this morning. Beautiful start to the day. MoDOT camera, of course, now it's looking north. Remember, we don't control the MoDOT cameras. MoDOT does. So it doesn't see the sunrise, but that's okay. It does see the cars, and you can see all the folks getting their day started out there. We also still have some patchy fog, especially in our southern counties, and really, again, around the Grand Lake area is a great example of this. It's not uncommon. But Grove, reduced down to 3 miles. It's Delaware, Ottawa, parts of Newton, McDonald counties, eastern Benton County, parts of Berry County, stretching in the southern portions of Craig, Newata County, and back into Washington County, and far southern Chautauqua County as well. So low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them, and just slow down. Be prepared for the potential for rapidly changing visibilities. Once the fog burns off, clouds will begin to clear. Some of you may clear before others do, but eventually we'll have clear skies through the late evening and overnight hours. And of course, more sunshine means warmer temperatures. Now, last night into this morning, we were expecting low to mid 60s. 62 in Iola. That's the warmest we've got right now. We've had, look at Parsons now, down to 53 degrees. You're actually right about at average. So we actually got cooler last night than we were expecting. So a nice fall-like start to the day for most folks. It's the afternoon that isn't very fall-like after that. We go upper 60s by 9, 81 by noon, mid-80s for our highs with that south wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, for those of you maybe like the warm weather and this just isn't warm enough, well, don't worry. Those temperatures continue to climb as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about that and next week's rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Coffeyville, Kansas is mourning the death of a teenager, a victim in a crash involving a high-speed chase. It's a follow-up to a crash that occurred last Friday afternoon in Coffeyville at the intersection of East 8th Street and Patterson Boulevard. Authorities now say 15-year-old Serafina O'Connell has died at the hospital from injuries suffered in that crash. Investigators say the crash occurred as police were chasing a northbound Jeep. The chase began in Oklahoma before crossing into Kansas. The Jeep failed to yield at a stoplight and crashed into an SUV, causing both vehicles to overturn. O'Connell was a passenger in that second vehicle. Authorities in Kansas charged the Jeep driver, Tanisha Mayberry, with murder in the first degree and the commission of a felony. Oklahoma charges against Mayberry include assault and battery on a police officer, endangering others while eluding police, and larceny from a retailer. The passenger in the Jeep, Cortez Wasson Jr., is charged with larceny of merchandise from a retailer and obstructing an officer in Oklahoma. He's facing drug-related charges in Kansas. And lawmakers were not able to avert a federal government shutdown when the clock ticked past midnight overnight into Wednesday. Federal agencies stopped receiving money. Of course, some critical services like those related to public safety will continue. People will also still continue to receive Social Security payments, but thousands of federal workers won't get paid until the shutdown ends, even though some will still have to work. Others will be furloughed for the duration. And the last shutdown happened under President Trump's first administration in 2018 and lasted 35 days. Newton County joins 5 other counties in a legal battle against the Missouri State Tax Commission. Now, this comes after the commission began withholding hundreds of thousands of dollars from counties refusing to comply with its request to raise property values by 10 to 15%. KOAM's Samantha Walker breaks down the lawsuit.
The Newton County Assessor's Office is one of 80 informed by the Missouri State Tax Commission they were out of compliance with state law. The commission said they needed to raise property assessment values by 10 to 15% across the state. The commission also sent equalization orders to non-compliant counties like Newton, asking assessment officials, the Board of Equalization, and the county clerks to increase their assessments. When the county assessor refused to raise them by that amount, the commission voted to withhold assessment maintenance funds. Now Newton County is joining 5 other counties in a lawsuit against the commission. Court documents state the proposed increases are arbitrary and not based on accurate data, and will negatively impact taxpayers' abilities to stay in their homes. It also says the commission's actions are in excess of their statutory authority. The counties are asking the court to block the commission from enforcing the changes and from withholding state funds for noncompliance. KOAM reached out to the State Tax Commission regarding the lawsuit. In a statement, their chief counsel says, contrary to the assertion that the State Tax Commission has exceeded its authority, the commission has taken the action which state law requires it to take in counties that assess property below market value. He says most counties have complied with assessment requirements. For those who have not, state statute requires the commission to withhold assessment funds and to issue equalization orders. The commission says they want property owners to know that assessments are just the first part in the process of setting tax levies. Quote, no matter how much assessments may increase in a single year, Missouri's Hancock Amendment was intended to limit the actual increase of one's property tax bill. Reporting in Newton County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
A case management conference for the lawsuit is scheduled for November 11th. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, all the info you need to know for the final Cars and Coffee event of 2025. You don't want to miss it. And later, 13 young entrepreneurs in Girard put their business skills to the test on Lemonade Day, complete with custom stands and creative twists. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Time now 7:10. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Myers Park in Pineville, Missouri. If you're looking for a great event that benefits a great cause, then look no further than the Joplin Cars and Coffee event happening this weekend. Here to tell us all about it is Josh and Ashley Negron. Now, good morning to you both. Thank you so much for being with us. So it's the final Joplin Cars and Coffee of the year. Yeah, so tell me all about it. What's different this time and what folks can expect?
Yeah, so our one in August was such a huge success. We had over 400 cars show up for that event.
Yes.
We think we probably had about 2,000 people come
incredible.
and just walk around and see. It was an incredible evening together. And so we're doing the same thing this time, but at a bigger location.
Okay.
So we're going to be just off of 7th and Maiden Lane in that large parking lot there. And so come see. We're going to have lots of food trucks. Just going to be an incredible evening. All kinds of cars, every range of everything. So
yes, absolutely. And I mean, it's great that so many people came.
Yeah,
you're switching. It's a good problem to have.
It was a great
absolutely. So for those who might not be familiar with Joplin Cars and Coffee, what can folks expect when they come out, especially if they want to, make sure that they're, going to the final one before the season ends?
Yeah. So it's just going to be a fun evening to come, hang out, walk around. We have a live DJ going. We're going to have 5 different food trucks and desserts going on. Just a fun, super family-friendly evening. To just walk around, meet people, see the incredible cars in our community. We have a whole crew of people coming from Springfield, Northwest Arkansas, so just going to be a super fun evening.
Absolutely, and of course this all, goes to help benefit a great cause, and you're doing something special this time too. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so with winter coming, we wanted to try something different this time. So we are asking for people to bring a coat for a child in need, a brand new one, or if you don't want to do a coat, we recommend a $10 donation, and we will take those donations and then purchase coats, and all of the coats will be given to the Economic Security Corps here in Southwest Missouri, and so they will distribute those to local families in need and make sure that nobody in our community goes without a coat this winter. So
absolutely, a great cause. Certainly going to help a lot of people in the community. Now, of course, this is the final one, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be happening next year. People want to, stay plugged in with you all. Talk to me about the details where folks can just find out more about what you all do.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook page and a Facebook group that we would love for you to join, Joplin Cars and Coffee. You can check that out, and we will be releasing 2026 dates on Saturday. So be sure to come and check that out, and then we'll put that also out on online.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank
Happy
you so
to
much.
have you. Thanks. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Your boyfriend got killed.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 7:18 on this Wednesday morning. We're starting again with the fog tracker, where we've had some fog down in our southern counties. Of course, one of the main culprits here, the Grand Lake area, so Grove down to 3 miles, Delaware, parts of Ottawa, Newton, McDonald counties, southern Craig, Newata County, stretching into Washington County around Bartlesville. Parts of southern Chautauqua County, Parsons slightly reduced. Same in Joplin. The airport's reporting just under 8 miles, but at least on the cameras we have in Joplin, or that we have access to in Joplin, haven't seen anything. But remember, the airport, of course, is on the far north side of the city. That's the only thing I've never liked about these reporting stations for weather is, in some cases, again, Joplin is a great example. The current conditions, everything that relays back to the National Weather Service comes from the airport, but the airport's so far detached from the rest of the city that it's not always an accurate representation. But I don't get to place these things. That's how the world works. But that's what we're looking at. So low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. And of course, slow down. Watch out for the potential for rapidly changing visibilities. And we have some mostly cloudy skies for some of us. Eventually, they will begin to clear through the morning hours and the afternoon and evening. Some of you may clear out before your neighbors do, but all of us clear skies by late evening into the overnight hours. That will continue into our Thursday. We'll get a southerly breeze, or a southeasterly breeze at least in here. And that will continue to bring in some of that warmer air out there. Future track, again, trying to show a couple of showers, but just disregard that. That's one little computer thing that thinks there's going to be a shower. I'm telling you right now that's not going to happen. We're going to have those clear skies, maybe a passing cloud or two, and it will continue into our Friday. So with the southerly winds, in fact, on Friday, could get some gusty southerly winds, and that just helps amplify everything, brings in that warmer air, keeping temperatures well above normal, to the tune of 10 to 15 degrees above normal out there. So here's a look at sunrise. The sun now hiding behind the trees here. Just a great view, though, from there. And we've got that patchy fog continuing through about 9 o'clock this morning. These temperatures this morning, very similar to what we've seen the last couple of days as well. But they're very likely to change as we go into the next couple of days because our daytime highs will be warming, so we're going to be warming up a little quicker in the morning. But we're low 60s to start, upper 70s by 11 a.m., and temperatures through the afternoon, we're looking at highs about the mid-80s. We should be in the low to mid-70s. That's not where we are. We'll have that south wind 5 to 10, and as we head into the late evening and overnight hours, we'll go mostly clear, and then we'll have clear skies out there, low to mid 60s. Now, we were expecting, again, low to mid 60s last night into this morning, and we got much cooler than that. In fact, this is the coolest start we've had for the last several days on what's going to be one of the warmer days we see before it really starts to heat up. So we'll see how that plays out. Some fall-like starts today, certainly not a bad thing, but honestly, with our daytime highs rising, low to mid 60s are much more likely over the next several days. So here we got it, upper 80s out there. Would not be surprised to see a couple of 90-degree readings. Maybe not to record levels, but again, it's not going to matter. It's going to be hot, especially for October. Keep that in mind. Fall festivals, spook houses, anything you're doing that's outdoors that maybe this time of year it's a little cooler, be prepared for it to not be cooler. And then next week, we start falling back just a bit, still above normal, upper 70s near 80, and we're still watching the possibility of at least some isolated storm chances next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's Check of Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Things are getting spooky at the moon.
Well, volunteer historians were in a race against time working to document what's in the Smithsonian museums.
The whole effort sparked by President Trump's threat to make major changes over what he calls so-called woke ideology. Fox's Bob Bernard has more.
Outside the Smithsonian's Museum of American History, one of the places being visited by this army of volunteer historians inspired by something President Trump said in the Oval Office last month.
We want the museums to treat our country fairly. We want the museums to talk about the history of our country in a fair manner, not in a woke manner.
That was seen by some, including grad student Jessica Dickinson Goodman, as a threat to the proper telling of our nation's history. And so she's helping to lead a project collecting thousands of photos of Smithsonian exhibits. The Smithsonian Museums, the National Zoo, and Holocaust Museum included. Those volunteers documenting on their phones the historical record as it exists today, to be preserved for comparison's sake if the White House demand for changes to the telling of our nation's history comes to be.
We have 20 plus amazing volunteers, each of whom have worked either solo or in pairs to take on a particular museum and trying to document all of what it is in this moment. And then they coordinate the rest of the volunteers. We're at more than 750 people have signed up. We've had 25,000 photos come in the first 4 weeks. We have about 45% of the exhibits documented as of now.
Georgetown University professor of history Jim Millward, working independently from the school, says their project has brought in amateur historians from D.C., Maryland, and Virginia to help in the documentation of these hundreds of exhibits.
Some of these efforts coming from the current administration have actually been substituting strange views, substituting partisan ideas for expertise. And so we want to make sure that the truth is the guide, that the best practices are the guide, that expertise is the guide to how America, how art, how history is presented in the museums.
With only about half of the exhibits documented so far, Professor Millward says they've got a lot of work to do and are hoping to get it all done by next Tuesday in case there's a federal government shutdown. Guys?
Interesting for sure, and you've got to document that history one way or the other. And some of that could be important too. I mean, heaven forbid there's a fire or something. Some of the stuff could be destroyed, so it's good to have it documented for sure.
All right, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOM Morning News. It's 7:45 on this Wednesday morning. Man, it's halfway through the week. It's the 1st of October. It feels more like the 1st of September. We also have some fog out there to deal with. Again, it's primarily been in the southern portion of our area. Washington, southern Nowata, Craig counties into Delaware, parts of Ottawa, Newton, McDonald, Benton, and Barry counties, and of course around the Grand Lake area. So as we've said all morning and for the last few days, honestly, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them. Slow down. Watch out for that possibility of rapidly changing visibility. There's a lot of dips and valleys, especially as you head a little further south, so you just want to watch out for that. As well as things too, the visibility can drop very quickly. And if you're doing highway speed and you're not prepared, there could be somebody ahead of you that's already slowed down because the visibility dropped. And you could run into them. You just got to be cautious out there. Just play it smart. And be safe this morning. Now, we won't have to worry about fog, of course, by the afternoon. In fact, we won't really have to worry about much of clouds. We're going to start clearing out. Some of you may go clearer earlier than others do, but eventually all of us with clear skies by late afternoon into the evening hours and overnight. As we go into our Thursday, it is much of the same. Sunny skies expected throughout the day, dry and very warm. Future track here, this is one computer saying that there might be a shower. I'm telling you right now, pretend that's not even there. It is not accurate. It is one that thinks a shower or two is possible. You can see whatever it does show is very brief, and that's simply because really it's too dry. We just don't have that chance for rain, and not for some time either. So we'll continue with clear skies into Friday, and of course more sunshine means warmer temperatures, and we're talking temperatures over the next few days. They're going to be 10 to 15 degrees above normal. I mean, we're talking really warm temperatures, just honestly downright hot, especially for this time of year. Now, our temperatures through the morning today are very similar to what we saw yesterday during the morning hours and what we saw the day before. We'll be in the low 60s to start. Fog should burn off by 9, and we'll be into the upper 70s by 11. But as our daytime highs rise, that means our overnight lows will be warmer, and of course it means our morning temperatures will be a bit warmer as well. Today, though, we're going about the mid-80s. Bear in mind, we should be 10 to 12 degrees cooler than that for our highs this time of year. South winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Again, we get into those clear skies by this evening and overnight, low to mid 60s. Now, I know we were expecting them last night into this morning, and we were nowhere near that. We were much, much cooler. But again, as our daytime highs rise, it's going to keep us warmer, which means they're slower to cool off, and low to mid 60s much more likely over the next several days, simply because of these numbers. Look at that, upper 80s. It is the first few days of October, and we very likely could see some 90-degree readings over the next few days, which is just wild. But with that said, we got Friday night football, we've got Saturday football, we've got spook houses and corn mazes and festivals and all these outdoor things that traditionally this time of year, these temperatures are again 10 to 15 degrees cooler than that. So just keep that in mind as you head out for any outdoor activities, that it's going to be a bit warmer than what you're used to, especially again for this time of year. Now, as we go into next week, temperatures drop back. They're still above average, but thankfully not significantly so. We're going to go upper 70s to about 80, and then we're still watching that chance for some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into the second half of next week. Really need those rain chances to go up a bit, but at least we've got something on the horizon. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The Fort Worth Zoo is asking voters an important question.
Yes, they want you, the voters, to decide the name of a baby Asian elephant. And that, right there, is the elephant. Well, there's two of them, so I'm not sure which. It's got to be the small one.
You can't tell which one's the baby?
Be quiet.
Okay.
I didn't look close enough at first. All right. Well, this baby was born in August. Her mother is Blue Bonnet, the first elephant born at Fort Worth Zoo back in 1998. As for Blue Bonnet's newest baby, voters have 3 name choices.
Now, those choices are Lady Bird for Lady Bird Johnson, former U.S. and Texas First Lady, Black-Eyed Susan for the wildflower native to Texas, and Yellow Rose for the legend of the Yellow Rose of Texas. I like the last one.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think Yellow Rose is a really good name. I mean, especially for an elephant.
I know,
very cool.
Adorable.
Well, DoorDash has unveiled this thing. It's a new delivery robot.
Yeah, meet DOT. Now, DOT is fully autonomous, all electric, about 1/10 the size of a car. It can reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour.
It can use bike lanes, sidewalks, and roads to deliver orders in a timely manner. Now, DOT will start delivering in the Phoenix, Arizona area with hopes to expand to more cities in the future. And I'm curious how you load it. How does it get into like McDonald's or to Walgreens or something? How does it get in there to get does it knock on the door? Does it alert you that it's there? I'm curious. I am actually kind of curious about this thing.
Yeah, it's puzzling. Well, Google may not be able to get you out of a traffic ticket, but it can get itself out of one.
Okay, I'm curious. All right, police in San Bruno, California pulled over a Waymo autonomous vehicle for making an illegal U-turn. Thank you. The car knew enough to pull over. I'm sorry, this is funny. It connect police to an employee using its communication system, but police had no way of citing anyone since there was technically no driver.
The San Bruno police wrote on social media they hope the stop will result in a reprogramming for the vehicles. Maybe it was giving DOT a ride. It was behind on DOT's delivery. So it hopped in the car and
I want to see police pull over the DOT robot too. That would be.
What's going on? I don't.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that's certainly interesting. We're back with another Check Your Forecast in the Wake Up Recap right after this.
RVs in every size for every budget. Endless.
Or State Hero.
This is your Wake Up Recap for October 1st. The top stories to start your day. The federal government shuts down as lawmakers failed to reach a funding agreement before the midnight deadline. Thousands of federal workers now face uncertainty. Some will work without pay while others are furloughed indefinitely. Critical services like public safety and Social Security payments continue, but the shutdown's impact spreads across government agencies. That's a look at today's Wake Up Recap.
And we start warming up today. Skies clear out, mid-80s for our highs. South winds 5 to 10. Clear skies through the evening and overnight into the low to mid 60s. And over the next several days, look at these numbers. Upper 80s, wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of 90-degree readings. Clear skies, dry conditions through the weekend. Start of next week, back to the upper 70s, about 80. And keeping our eye on the possibility, at least, of some isolated shower and storm chances in the second half of next week.
All right. Well, a treasure worth more than $1 million found on a 300-year-old shipwreck. It sounds like the plot to a movie, but it's the reality for a crew in Florida.
Just a minute, I thought that's a 300,000-year-old shipwreck. Okay.
Well, during the 2025 summer salvage season, a historic shipwreck operation recovered more than $1 million worth of silver and gold coins.
Now, the coins were found in the remains of the Treasure Fleet shipwreck, which sank in 1715 while carrying an estimated $400 million worth of gold, silver, and jewels from the New World back to Spain. Plans are underway for select pieces to be exhibited at local museums, but first, the coins will undergo a careful conservation process. Boy, talk about a heck of a find, though.
I know.
If you found a 300,000-year-old shipwreck, then you've got something that's worth a lot more than the gold and jewels there. So,
certainly.
Oh my. All right. Well, that's it for Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.